let's talk about the most important thing, the game. Forza Horizon 4 is ready for pre-order right now.
And here to tell us all about that and give us a first look at Forza Horizon 4, our own Chris Bishop and Brian Ekberg from Xbox and Turn 10. Gentlemen, how we doing?
What's going on, everybody? It's so awesome to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. This is super exciting. We're actually going to play a little bit of the game.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun here. I heard Graham talking earlier as he was wiping drool off that car. By the way, is gorgeous.
You have to wax that thing over again.
Yeah, hits and bounce.
That's right.
Yeah, no, very excited about that. But he mentioned the location. And so I want to talk a little about it. So we know the game is set in historical Britain.
That's right.
It was basically what made the team at Turn 10 decide Great Britain.
Well, it's a great question. The developers at Playground, that's their backyard. That they are from the UK. They in Leamington Spa, so most of them grew up, across the UK. So for them, it was like, hey, let's do some justice to our home country, right? So that was one of the reasons. But the other reason is, and we'll talk more about it as we get into the demo, but seasons are such a huge part of Forza Horizon 4 that they wanted a place that really showed off all the vibrancy and variety that can be found in seasons in Britain. If you've ever been there, you know it's got a little bit of everything. It's got snow in the north and great summers down south, and fall is beautiful, and of course it rains there. Everybody knows it rains in Britain. So to hear the Playground developers talk about it, it was a little bit of, hey, we wanted to do seasons, and Britain was the perfect place to do it.
It absolutely makes sense, it sounds like.
What I also love about it is that the seasons aren't just in the game, but they actually change the gameplay. Like, isn't it true, like every week if I see a lake, it might freeze over, I might get access to other things? Like, how does that all going to work, Brian?
It's exactly right. Seasons, we have this tagline of seasons change everything. And when we say everything, we really do mean everything. We mean that, just like you said, the Lake District, which you'll see at the start of this demo, in the spring, summer, and fall, it's lakes, but once you hit wintertime,
they freeze over,
and you have access to areas you've never been able to access before, maybe some barn finds over there. So new stuff, new secrets that you can always find, new access to new areas. But even the water level, if you think about the water level of rivers,
does it rise and lower with the seasons?
They rise and lower with the seasons. So
that's some attention to detail there.
Well,
yeah.
And so there's hundreds of different types of terrain that you can drive on in this game. All of them change based on the temperature. So in the winter, there's much less traction, much less heat.
You get a little bit of a slip there you got to counter for.
So every season has different experiences, different feeling for the cars.
I just want to be able to do that awesome jump over the waterfall. Like, that is going to be my screenshot. Record that moment, and I'm going to share that with everybody.
Just getting that video of the light there panning over.
That was epic from the briefing. That was really incredible.
That's awesome. Now we got to see the McLaren over here, the Senna, revealed, I believe, reveal?
North American debut.
Yeah,
North American debut right here on the mixer stage. And thank you guys for bringing that gorgeous car here. And I know cars are a cornerstone of Forza Horizon and the history of those games. So, comes with collecting those cars. Now, there have been a metric ton of cars in Forza games. I think
many metric tons.
Yeah, I love how metric was almost bold in that prompter. Metric ton. So I kind of want to let's talk about the cars in, like, how many cars am I going to be able to get? I'm kind of excited here, nervous. Like, what am I going to expect when I jump into Forza Horizon 4?
It's a great question because it's all about cars with Forza. Forza is all about that experience cars in different ways. And in Forza Horizon 4, you're going to have 450 cars to choose from. And of course, we're always
Say that again for the people in the back.
450 cars.
450
cars. I can't even fathom that.
You guys should have Super Smash Brothers. That's right. Literally,
they practically
did every single car one at a time.
That's right.
And just let us drool.
Yeah.
You should have done like 90 minutes of car reveal. That would have been epic.
Hey, man.
Car after car after car.
I do it. I love it. But what's so fun about Horizon to me is you have an incredible variety of cars. It's supercars like the McLaren. It's American muscle. It's JDM cars. It's off-roaders. You can go off-road. We want you to explore and crash through fences and use these off-road vehicles the way they're meant to be used. So no matter where your interest falls with automobiles, you're going to find something to love.
Sounds like a little something for everybody, depending on, like, if you're into that American muscle or if you're into those roadsters or speedsters. It sounds like you got a little bit of everything. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the celebration of beautiful Britain and the fact that you've chosen such an incredible showcase of that with the McLaren Senna as the cover car. What a great way to set up the franchise, and so diversively and visually different than what we have with Forza Horizon 3. But still, a lot of those those open world elements. So when those seasons change, it changes for everybody.
That's right. It's a global event, and I think you mentioned it earlier, Aaron, that seasons change every week. Every 7 days, you're going to experience a new season in Forza Horizon 4. So that means you'll go from spring into summer, and those water levels will change, the grip levels will change, even the weather changes. And each season brings not just new weather and new visuals, but new content,
Nice.
new rewards, new challenges to play. So every season is different, and every season brings new things to do in the game.
It's got me pretty excited here, and I think we have the demo ready actually right here. Chris is going to take the wheel.
All right.
Literally.
All right.
And kind of show us what it's about. There's that beautiful McLaren right there, ready to go.
Now, Chris, you drive this to work every day? Is this your daily driver?
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us borrow your car.
Yeah. Hey, our pleasure.
I love this. You know, I don't know if they're going to let us, but, you know, take it for a spin, go get some in and out while we're here.
Yeah, well, it's here. We'll ask at the very least.
Now, Chris is going to kick this off here, but, you know, we're talking about cars, we're nerding about here. Let's talk about the cover of the game here, of course, that hero piece. The McLaren has a long history of track-focused road cars, and the 659 VHP McLaren Senna is no exception. What is it about the McLaren Senna that drove your team to make the decision to use it as that featured cover? And I'm also kind of curious as a follow-up here, what was your reaction to seeing it for the first time?
Well, it's astonishing to look at, right? It's just one of those cars. We're so privileged, and we get to see these cars early before the rest of the world. And it's just one of those cars that makes an immediate impact. You can see its speed even when it's, you know, standing still. You can see those huge aero wings. This is a car that's built for performance. It's a beautiful car, but it's also extremely aggressive looking. In terms of why we chose it for the cover, I mean, McLaren and Forza have had a long partnership together. We had the P1 on the cover of Forza Motorsport 5. We've had many McLaren models come through both Forza Horizon and the Forza Motorsport series. And so it was great when McLaren was introducing this legendary supercar to the world. That it was just a perfect marriage of it's going to fit perfectly here. It's a British company, British car. We're set in Britain. It's a perfect marriage.
Yeah, the game here in Britain. You've got a brand new gaming mechanic with the seasons. Why not roll it out with this VC? And that car looks mean.
It is
the aero
astonishing.
is absolutely amazing. Like you can go so fast with it.
And then we just popped over to winter now here, so it looks like we're going to hit frosty England. And again, the track's going to change, the environment's going to change.
The waterfall froze over.
Is this your moment, Aaron?
This is it.
Is this the Aaron moment?
Well, this is my winter moment.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
All right.
I have a different moment for each season.
Yes, of course.
And then I know, like,
A song of ice and fire.
there it is. Lots of air.
I love that. Well, here we are. We're on a river right here. This river obviously would be flowing in any other season, but here we are driving across it in wintertime.
Wow.
And you can see the reflections on the ice. They've done such a fantastic job of making this game look so beautiful. Of course, HDR support, 4K support on Xbox One X. You'll be able to have a performance option when you're playing on Xbox One X to play it in 60 frames per second.
Well, absolutely. If you're playing with the most beautiful cars and the most beautiful countryside, you've got to have the most beautiful and powerful console to be able to play this.
Absolutely. And Chris, you know, I'm sure you can feel, obviously we're in a big heavy trophy truck here, but you can feel the weight of the car. You can feel it's sliding across the snow and ice here. We're in wintertime. It's supposed to feel a little bit more challenging when you're driving.
Way different.
This is great. There's like a winter carnival off to the right.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
love that you can see the snow speckles kind of hitting the screen and kind of drifting off.
Another cool thing that we were talking about seasons. Yes, the seasons change every week, and so you'll always be able to experience new stuff. What I love is winter is different every time. Spring is different every time. So when you come back around to winter, you might have slightly different weather conditions than you experienced the first winter.
Not just the same cookie cutter
it's
winter.
not the same.
It's going to be diverse and different every time.
That's right. That's right. I love
awesome.
that. I love the reflections on the ice there. It just looks like
look at the lighting.
incredible. Yeah.
And then that's new for Forza Horizon 4 to be able to have the option to play at 60 frames per second anytime I want.
Yep.
That's right. Of course, the Motorsport series has always been about 60 frames per second, but the community has spoken. They've said, listen, can we have a 60 frames option in Horizon? And the team at Playground, they've been amazing. You're going to have that option when you're playing on Xbox One X. You choose that performance mode and play in 60 frames.
Spring is in the air now.
And Chris just did a nice little drifting move there. That was
Yes.
The ice is melting
there.
here. You got motorcycles. That's really awesome, like rolling around here. But again, conditions have now changed. What am I going to be struggling with here and working to fight on as I'm racing?
Well, here for the first time, you have mud.
Yeah. Deep mud is the new surface type for Forza. it rains in springtime, of course. So these backwood roads, they get muddy and gross, and they make your car really cool looking with all the mud and everything. But this is a different surface type as well, so the cars are going to feel a little bit different. What we're looking at here is a showcase event. If you played other Forza Horizon games, you know that showcase events put you up against really cool opponents. You've raced hot air balloons in the past, fighter jets, also.
You almost get a bit of a show with it, yes.
That's right. So here you're racing.
Oh, there's that nice slow mo. There it is.
So this is a showcase event, and Chris, you know what I'm asking you to do here.
I know.
I put this challenge to Chris every time.
Oh man, I cannot do that for you.
No pressure.
If that's a challenge.
No pressure. There's a pipe here on the left-hand side that I always challenge Chris to go through.
Oh man, definitely with a.
There it is. See it right there?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Here we go.
Thread the needle with me.
Thread the needle.
Rewind, baby, rewind.
Rewind.
One of my favorite features.
The rewind feature.
Wait, rewinding.
All right.
Yeah,
okay,
you make
we'll
a
just pretend
mistake.
like that never happened.
Rock came out of
What
nowhere.
happened? Ready?
What?
I know
All
what
right.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Chris, thread the needle.
Chris,
That's
let's
right.
see if
Here
he
we
can
go.
do it. Here he goes. Can he do it?
Got it. There he is.
Oh, wow.
Got it.
Hard mode, man. I have to stay in this view that Chris is in right now. I cannot do that cockpit view, man.
Yeah, I like cycling through them. This view is new for Horizon, which is pretty cool. It puts you right in front of the steering wheel. Really good, especially if you have a wheel setup.
That's right.
It's just nice to have different options. Sometimes, especially if I'm playing multiplayer, I love the third person. But if I'm kind of just playing by myself, I like in that first person, get a little bit more adrenaline.
Nice, and I love this again. Like we're on the same area. We're in the same area.
That's right.
We haven't left that area, but again, it's just so diverse. It's changed up. It's mixed up, and of course, we're featuring another new car here in the showcase. Now, I know cars obviously being a mainstay, modifying your cars is also a big thing in Forza.
That's right.
So I'm curious here, what are the new options and what can we expect to see in the realm of customizations? Because I know those diehard Forza fans they're dying to know.
You're right, and what we love about our community is that there's so many different expressions of car passion in Forza. People like to race, people like to drift their cars, they like to jump them, they like to stunt with them, and yes, they like to take photographs and customize their cars and tune them. You can definitely do that in Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, is that? But this is just a pack of jets that just flew by?
Yeah, that's just, it's the Horizon Festival.
Look
There's
off
cool
to the
stuff
right,
happening
you see a
everywhere.
hovercraft over there.
Yeah, there's a hovercraft over to the right. You might be racing that at some point in the game.
Typical day in Britain.
Yeah, I say I've been to London a couple times. I don't remember this. I definitely went to the wrong
You
part
got to
of
go
London.
further north.
Yeah.
Gets wild up
More
there.
by rare.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's great. This is great, and I love the festival here. Now we're in the beautiful summer countryside, and again, man, these
Flowers
colors
are
popping.
blooming. The color palette is just stunning.
Yeah, and they've really done like a great job of taking sort of the best bits of Britain and putting them together in the map. And when you think about the map in Forza Horizon 4, it's about the same size as Australia in Forza Horizon 3. But if you imagine, they're rebuilding it for every season, so they're completely rebuilding the map 4 times over. So a huge map to begin with, and all that variety that seasons bring.
And then in this now in summer, what kind of track elements can we expect are going to differ from that spring, fall, and winter?
Well, we talked a little bit about the water levels in the rivers and the lakes is going to be a little bit lower, so the splashes may not be as big as you're going through those bits. The tire the asphalt temperature is going to be hotter. It's going to be hotter outside, so you're going to get more grip out of your tires because that warm asphalt will give you better grip as you race. So yes, it's going to feel, in a car like the McLaren that really hugs the road already, it's going to feel even better in summertime when it's real hot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, there are a few changes in the franchise in Forza Horizon 4, namely the changing in seasons that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Weather has played a part in previous releases, but not to the extent that it is in Forza Horizon 4. Tell us kind of what is it about this and why you guys decided to add this core mechanic to your game?
It's really about living this life. We want you, what we call, live the Horizon life. And that means we want you, when you come here, you are going to be living in this world of Britain, and you're going to be experiencing all those different seasons. That means you're going to be able to buy a place to live, and you're going to be able to get cool jobs driving your car around. So you're going to kind of be living.
I need a second job.
I'm definitely in for the Horizon lifestyle.
Yeah.
Me too.
I could live that life.
Yeah, be a sheep farmer up in
Yeah.
northern Britain.
Something like that, yeah. Or herd your cars with your
that's-
supercar.
there you
Herd
go.
the sheep with your supercar.
There you
That's
go.
a bigger level of depth. I can actually buy homes. So you've got almost some cool simulation elements built into the campaign too.
Yeah, and of course we want it to be fun, right? You're not going to be so enclosed or something. You're going to be driving for these jobs.
Yeah.
We want you to have a great time. But yes, we want you to live this life, and weather plays into that, right? You're experiencing the change of the seasons. The weather will be different from season to season as well. So we hope that it feels like a really authentic, just place that you would want to live in real life.
It sounds very dynamic again, like even jobs, the weather, everything. This is a huge game. So correct me if I'm wrong. I believe here, and I want to be factual here, but this is going to be the largest Forza Horizon title to date. Like, how big is this? How big is this game?
Well, we talked about the map. So the map is huge to begin with, and you have 4 different versions of that. It's the most cars we've ever done in a Horizon game. But what I love most about it is that we talked about seasons and how it always brings new content in. We're always going to be bringing new cars to the game. We're always going to be bringing new events and new challenges, new Forzathon events. You play this game online with your friends. This is a shared world. So you'll see your friends. It won't be drivatars. It'll be your real friends that'll be playing online with you. So in terms of things to do and areas to explore, definitely the biggest Forza Horizon game we've done so far.
Holy cow, that's amazing. Again, it just feels alive.
Yeah.
Would be the best word I can almost describe it with here. And another shift in core gameplay is the switch, of course, from drivatars populating in the world, because you mentioned the other players, to the actual players trading paint with each other. What was it that shifted the focus from putting drivers in the same world?
Well, we saw how people love to play online together. You know, to me, that's how I have the most fun in Forza. I'm playing with my friends. We're not even necessarily racing. Sometimes we're just driving around and exploring and having a great time. And so in Forza Horizon 4, it's a shared world. The cars that you see on the road will be your friends who are live and online at the same time as you.
Wow.
Now, of course, we don't require you to do that. If you want to go offline and play solo, your world will be populated by drivatars. But if you're online, it's going to be your friends, and you're going to be having a great time doing adventures, just exploring, having a great time.
I love that. They're almost taking the community feedback on drivatars and saying, how can we double down on this? How can we make it more engaging and more friendly? And I love that. Well, give the player the choice. Do they want to play alone? Do they want to play solo? Do they want to have their friends? And just, I like that idea, though, by the way. You might swap some paint, maybe?
Let's do it.
Do a little race?
Yeah, flash my lights a little bit.
Nice. Now, Brian, I know you're also involved with Forza Racing Championship. Can you tell the people here, of course, joining us first, what it is, and secondly, what you guys have coming up later this week?
That's right. Later this week, we've got the Series 1 finals for the Forza Racing Championship. That's our esports program. So we've had several years of the Forza RC now, but this is our biggest year yet. So if you want to tune in to the best racers in the world, fight it out for a $75,000 prize. Tune in to the Forza Racing Championship this Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be racing all day. You can go to watch.forzarc.com and watch that live. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to be a part of it. We're going straight from E3 right into racing. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
That's right. And again, what's that prize pool?
The prize pool is $75,000. So these guys are coming from all over the world racing for real money in Forza Motorsport 7, of course. And it's going to be 2 days of just intense on-track action. You don't want to miss it.
That's exciting. Yeah, can't wait to see that. Can't wait to check it out. This game, of course, being gorgeous, and it is. All 4 flavors of the seasons. It's like a Baskin-Robbins of racing.
Oh, I love it.
Whichever.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, there we go. You can pitch that. No, that's great. Now,
let me ask you this. The one thing we haven't mentioned, but I think it's worth noting, is this may be the biggest game to launch day and date into Game Pass as well.
That's right, Xbox Game Pass.
So if I'm a Game Pass member, I get Forza Horizon 4 at launch included in my membership.
Yeah.
Day one.
I'm asking a question I know the answer to.
Yes, that is
That is one of the great things about being on the Mixer stage, is that we get to do that sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
Game Pass. There's this thing called Game Pass.
Oh, is it? No.
Yeah.
No. It's great to see it. Excited to have it come back in Game Pass. Again, that Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah.
When our first-party studios launch these amazing, huge AAA games.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, State of K2, and now Forza Horizon.
And imagine all of those players on Game Pass coming to Forza Horizon 4, populating your world, driving together in Britain. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, what I love is it's going to allow a bunch of new people into the franchise for the first time. A lot of people that may not have played Forza before, but now it kind of shows up in their queue.
That's right.
They're like, wow, this hot new game, I'm going to go check it out.
And now I'm seeing chat, and they're loving hype. I've been hearing chat's really hype. They want to see the demo one more time.
Oh.
Can we
Twist our arm, yes. Yeah.
Can I twist your arm to play one of the most beautiful, if not the beautiful racing games?
Okay.
And give them a tour of beautiful Britain countryside one more time. Chat was too hyped. So we're changing it up here, actually.
All right.
Yeah, we've got 3 cars to choose from at the start of the demo. So the McLaren Senna, of course, Dodge Viper is the white car, and this Porsche GT4, which is gorgeous.
Oh,
I love the Cayman. Beautiful car.
It's one of my favorite things. Get in the car. I like that. You can just load me into the car, but it's like, so would you like to hop in the car? And I like how it's just formal. Like, oh,
Get in.
You're dadgum right. I want to get behind the wheel. And again here.
You'll feel the difference with the mid-engine handling, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great car. Definitely very different feeling.
Yeah, we model our cars to be accurate, right? We want these cars to feel different. If you played Forza Motorsport, you know we take so much time in making sure that all these cars look, feel, and sound just the way they do. And of course, that extends into Forza Horizon 2. This Cayman feels very different from the McLaren. As you said, mid-engine. Maybe not as fast in a straight line, but very nimble.
Yep.
Now, we talked a little bit about summer, how like the water levels are low, and I think we were very excited. We didn't get a chance to get fall. It's little time in the sun.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious here, what am I going to expect in driving conditions with the fall specifically?
Well, it's a little bit cooler.
Yep.
So you can expect to maybe not have as much grip on the asphalt as you would in summer when it's very warm. But really what's striking to me about fall is what you're seeing here. It's just this gorgeous colors of fall that surround you as you drive through the world. It's interesting, really interesting to hear the playground guys talk about what goes into the vegetation to make all of these trees individually change colors as they go through it. I mean, we were talking about, when I was talking to the guys about what it meant, what seasons meant. Yeah. They initially had the idea of sort of an R&D experiment within Playground. Like, what if we did seasons within the studio? And as they realized what seasons could mean visually, sound-wise, gameplay-wise, it just sort of blossomed and grew over time.
I was going to say, it sounds like a small idea, and then everybody just kept adding and talking about it more and more.
Exactly. And it becomes to the point where they're thinking about vegetation and
the audio
of what does fall sound like compared to the middle of summer. And they've just done such a fantastic job getting all those details right.
I have to imagine this includes a lot of research on the ground.
Absolutely.
Who's on the ground research here? Like, does the whole team just flock to northern Britain for a year and a half and just disappear?
Yeah. It's interesting, you know, like with Australia or some of the other locations, they have to send research teams. And to be honest, you know, not as many people as we would like to send gets to go to those research teams. But what was so great about having it be where Playground Games is, you know, the whole team could do research, and as they built the game, they found stuff. They're like, oh, that's not quite right. We need to change that and make that a little bit better. So it just gave a lot more experience and hands-on time with the whole team that was making the game go.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love
their backyard.
I love the idea there, and then obviously probably multiple returns because you've got to get that same footage, that same process for all 4 seasons, for summer, winter, spring, fall.
They were sort of, in the early days, they were making sort of a reasons to believe of why seasons would be good. They found this cottage in the middle of central England, and they returned to it every season. They would record sound and take pictures. And the owner of the cottage, they returned so many times that the owner of the cottage got to know them, and he would come out and like say, hello guys, how's the project going? And it's just, that's the kind of depth of research that they've been able to do. So it means that this Britain is, in terms of depth and authenticity, is certainly the most complete and complex version that we've ever done in the Horizon series.
Now, obviously, you guys' big announce on Sunday with the Xbox briefing. Community manager, of course. I'm kind of curious, what's been the community reaction to this so far, both in the racing game community and in the video game community?
Well, it's been fantastic. You know, I don't know. I think the community wasn't surprised about Forza Horizon 4. I think they were surprised about where it's set, the seasons, all of the features. So much depth has been put into this game. You know, they were expecting Forza Horizon 4, but I think people have been blown away by what they've seen so far. You know, the Forza community, of course, is made up of car lovers of every stripe.
Yes.
So it depends on who you're talking to. Some are like, hey, how does online work? How does that always online work? How do the playground games work? Some are like, hey, do you have turn signals? What is this car in the game? Can I do this or that? You know, turn signals. Yeah, I love it. It's just you get questions from every ilk of car fan who want to know more about this game.
And I'm sure you guys work a lot with car collectors and car manufacturers because you have to nail all of those things. Do they give you just full 3D renders and say, here, go ahead and make our car?
It's a great question. That is the answer is it depends on the car. In some cases, the manufacturers have CAD data they're willing to share, and that gives us a great head start. In some cases, they give us early access to the car. Think about the McLaren Senna, a car that was under extreme secrecy. The Ford GT that was on the cover of Forza Motorsport 6. That was a project that few people within Ford even knew was happening.
Really?
But they brought us in.
Wow.
Here's the tunnel.
Here we go, Chris Bishop.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's going to thread the needle again. But he was on easy mode. He was on easy mode.
Let him have his win.
I know Brian was trying to put the challenge in.
So one of the other things I think was really interesting was hearing people talk. You're saying, hey, they weren't maybe surprised by the game, but they were surprised by, I think, what's going to be the next gameplay innovation.
Yes.
You know? And I think what they've done with Seasons is just something I've never seen before. And the other thing I've noticed in watching some of the demos is you may not be able to notice it on the stream, but the audio also changes.
Oh, man.
I hear the ice, I hear the tires in the winter, I hear the water in the mud, and like that immersion that you get is just really, really unique to this franchise.
You have to be able to hear the engine to be able to drive effectively, right? So it starts with an engine sound. Every car, every vehicle starts with, you have to have that right. You want to hear the tires on the ground crunching through the snow or skidding across the asphalt. It literally helps you as a driver. But there's so much more to the audio experience, as we were talking about.
Yeah.
What animals are present in springtime in England, and what do they sound like? What does the dead of winter sound like when you're driving with no other cars around you? Yeah, there's the hovercraft there on the right.
There it is right there.
Oh, nice.
Part of that.
Now, is this the most sheep that we've had in the Forza Horizon game to date?
It is a new record for sheep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and it's just in case you missed it, there's a bunny rabbit in that big jump in spring. You missed the bunny rabbit in the lower left, little Easter egg there, kind of literally there. And then there's chickens, of course, as well. So
now I can't run over. So similar to Forza Horizon 3.
We need to clarify this.
Yeah, I can't run over any of the animals.
I heard one of our developers, John Knowles, talking about we have developed the most sophisticated AI for creatures to avoid vehicles in video games.
I chased a lot of kangaroos.
Yeah,
and Forza Horizon 3, I'm not going to lie, and I will definitely give the sheep a run for their money.
I don't know if it's good news or bad news, but you can't hit the animal.
I love that. The most dynamic animal avoidance AI.
Exactly. It's a new record.
That probably came out of the Microsoft AI team.
They're probably very impressed with that one. No, I love that. Again, but it's about bringing it to life. It's about, you guys have the animals, you can see here, you've got the ambience of it, of course, here in one of the festivals. I think it's important to make sure you embed yourself in this experience and just fully immerse yourself. And again, it's not just looking at the screen. It's not just playing with the controller. It's the sound. It's the ambiance. Chris giving a big old sigh there coming in.
Coming in hot.
138 miles, 7 seconds of air. That was better than 6.9 last time.
Yeah, well done.
Yes, I did pay attention. Wow, that's impressive.
That's great. Well, a big thank you to Chris and Brian here from Turn 10.